One of the best features about this new facility is the fact that we actually have a small mammal room, someplace where we can house rabbits, gerbils, hamsters, and even guinea pigs, and an occasional snake every now and then. But it's very important that people understand that the animals, the small mammals that are coming to us, are domesticated animals, and they don't do well if they're left outside. The majority of the rabbits that come into our facility are oftentimes found outside, and they're very sensitive to cold weather. A lot of people don't realize that rabbits can be litter box trained, and that it's very important that you also spay and neuter your rabbit.
I think the other thing too we want to mention is that we actually see a lot of different animals in here. Most people think of us as having just dogs and cats, and the truth of the matter is, Cheryl talked about the rabbits, but we also see hamsters and gerbils. We've seen exotics before as well. We occasionally see a snake, or we see a gecko or a lizard. So there's lots of different animals that come through the shelter, and people don't very often think about looking for animals here. We aren't able to house birds here, but we do have a referral for anybody who might be looking for birds. And the other thing that we can also obviously share with people is how people need to care for these animals. I think that's important as well, because you know, a lot of pets are bought on impulse, and people really need to think about how much work might be involved in that, and the special kind of housing that they need.
There's a lot of work when you have a small mammal. It's that daily cleaning. Again, I think Joni talked about cleaning earlier, and every day we have to clean the rabbits. You have to clean your gerbils. You have to, you know, I play a game with the kids called Put Yourself in the Pet's Place. And if you're a little gerbil or a rabbit in a cage, and you have food and water and toys, and everybody plays with you, but they don't clean your cage, that's not a really good environment.
Yeah,
and you have to understand too that, yes, you know, sometimes teaching children responsibility, you know, they start out real strong. Yeah, I promise I'll take care of it. I promise. But basically, if the children don't follow through, it falls on the parents.
Yeah,
and so they have to be willing to step up to the plate and take care of those animals. And I think the important thing for people to remember too, because these are small mammals that are not used to being outside, they don't, especially the rabbits, you just can't put a rabbit back outside and say, oh, well, it's a rabbit, it'll adapt. It doesn't know where the predators are. It doesn't know where its food is.
They're very vulnerable outside.
Yeah, and so, and that's why if you need to place your animals, contact the Humane Society and talk to us. Or if you're having a problem or you don't know what's the best thing for me to do for this animal, we are a wonderful resource center for people to come or call and ask questions. And if we don't have the answer, we will find you an answer.
We'll get you the answer.
And this is our education room, also known as the community room. This is the hub of activity here at the Humane Society. We have our board meetings here monthly. We have our staff meetings here. We have our rummage sale here. It's just, this is a hustling and bustling room at all times. Primarily, when I'm in this room, I'm usually doing an education program that I'm going to be talking about a little later, but I'm going to have Joni talk to you about some of the animal activities that take place in this room.
It's hard to believe that we managed to run a shelter without a room like this. This has just really been a godsend for us. We do dog mixes in here, we have our puppy classes in here, we do adoptions in here. This has just really been a terrific room to do all the things in a shelter environment indoors. Obviously in inclement weather, you know, it's really important to be able to mix dogs, but you're not necessarily going to want to do it outside. So this is a great room, and it's nice and open and big, and that you want to have a large space when you're mixing dogs, because you don't want dogs ever to feel as though they're being cornered or closed in. And so great room. This is a room, again, that we just absolutely love. I can't imagine being without it. So I'd like to see it expanded, actually. But
we could use a second room like this.
Yeah, we really could.
And I think it's important, Joni, if you could just touch on, because I'm not sure exactly how they do that. I know that we do dog mixes with our volunteers, sometimes do dog mixes I know we call them the Get Along Gang, and that's for animals that are looking for homes. But I know that there's also dog mixes that our staff does with potential adopters. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. One of the things that we do, obviously, Cheryl talked about how important it is to have the whole family when you're looking at animals, and part of that family is also the dog. So when people are looking for a second dog, what we like to do is ask them to bring their animal in. We actually make an appointment with that person or family, and we tell them, don't even come into the building until you let us know that you're here. And then what we'll do is we'll bring them immediately into the room so that they don't get an opportunity to see the rest of the building, because we don't want them to stress. We don't want them to feel uncomfortable. We want them to come into a neutral territory when they meet a new dog for the first time. We're really watching body language. That's extremely important. A lot of people mistake just dogs kind of growling at each other, or maybe even a little Elvis thing, as, you know, uh-oh, we're going to have a problem here. But that's really just dog talk. That doesn't necessarily mean that that is a dog that is not going to get along with the other dog. But so it's really important to kind of start from that basis, and then we can actually see as time progresses how they're actually doing with each other. And very often it ends up to be a play session.
Okay. So it's also very important, it gives our staff an opportunity then to kind of arm the potential adopter with more information that they can take home with them, so that should they decide to take this dog home, they're going to have a smoother transition at their home.
Sure.
Is that right?
Because it's about, it's about hierarchy, it's about pecking order, it's about understanding that one dog probably needs to dominate over another, and people need to understand that as well, because when they're singing or actually doing mixed signals to the dogs, or people are giving them mixed signals, that confuses the dogs, and that's where sometimes dogs have issues or problems.
Okay. So it's about teaching everybody how to be a good leader.
You want everybody on board. You want the whole family on board, and very often when we do adoptions, it's very important for us to have the children here as well, because we want them reinforcing that same behavior.
Right. So it's great that we have this room, and of course that's why we have the special matting on the floor, so that the dogs aren't sliding around.
Right.
So education is really important, and especially if you're a humane society, that's the biggest part of our mission, is to help people have a better understanding of animals, whether it's animals that are at the shelter or animals that they have in their home. And what I like best about my job is I have an opportunity to spend most of my time with school-age children, and that's what I love about this room. This room, last year we had 34 different school and service organizations like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts come into the education room and have a program. And then after they've had their educational program, we've taken a tour of the building, and they get limited hands-on with the animal, because again, safety is first and foremost.
Key.
But the programs that we offer here, and the kids, they just love coming here, and they love the program. And sometimes I'm amazed, and to even admit this, but a lot of times it's okay that there's not an animal in the room, because they're telling me about what they know about animals. And so the 3 programs that we offer here at the Humane Society are pet owner responsibility, how to be a responsible pet owner, and the other program that we offer is safety around animals, bite prevention. And it's really a wonderful thing for all family members to participate in, but oftentimes I don't have the opportunity to talk to the whole family. I only get to see the kids, and so it's important that they have a handout that they can take home and share with mom and dad. This is how you're safe around animals. And then of course my favorite that I don't get to do very often is teaching kids about body language, because animals don't talk like you and I do.
Right.
We're very verbal, and we're always throwing out mixed messages. Our mouths are saying one thing and our body might be saying something else, and it's fun to have the kids interact. So this room has just been really an awesome place for us to learn more about the community, and the community to learn more about us. And talking about learning about getting acquainted, let's head over to
let's do that.
Get Acquainted rooms.